Okay, let me begin. Thank you very much for making your time today. I am preparing a statement. I prepared a statement to respond to what happened in the past few days, especially on the Selangor State Planning Guidelines and Standards for Community Facilities. So herewith my statement. I thank Selangor State Government Exco YB Ng Sehan for responding through his pocket time interview in Mandarin to public concerns regarding the 2025 Selangor State Planning Guidelines and Standards for Community Facilities, as well as to my statement dated 1st June. However, the explanation still falls short of addressing the real concerns on the ground. First, the position of places of worship other than Islam, RISI, in industrial areas remain unanswered. Paragraph 7 under KM 43 states that conversion of existing building into RISI use is not allowed, meaning legally, this may prohibit RISI from operating in industrial areas. Second, many RISI in commercial industrial areas operate through temporary development orders or kebenaran merancang temporer terhad, KMTT, under Section 22 of the Town and Country Planning Act 1976 or Act 172. These approvals require reapplication or renewal upon expiry. So Section 1273B of the National Land Code further provides that in the case of a condition subject to a fixed term, action may be taken if the breach continue for 12 years. As a result, KMTT approvals are usually granted carefully within a total period of not more than consecutive 12 years. Okay? The question is, how can the state government guarantee that such renewals or reapplications will not be treated as new applications and subsequently rejected? And third, a comparison of the previous editions of the same guidelines from the second, the third, and fourth, now the fifth. So I have all of them here. So this is the second, the third version, fourth version, and the latest version. Okay. So the comparison of all these versions show that an important sentence was removed from the fourth edition onwards, published in 2020. Hello. Right. So the statements I read below. The development of religious places in shop premises and residential premises is not permitted unless it is proven that there is no suitable land or area available for such purpose. It may only be considered on a case-by-case basis. I highlight a case-by-case basis, subject to there being no disturbance or nuisance to residents in the surrounding area and to the decision of the local authority. So, Jaya, can you find the file in the photocopy machine? Tak ada. So, the removal of this case-by-case discretion from local authorities has created the very uncertainty and risk now faced by many RISI. Okay? Equally troubling, and as raised in my 1st June statement, but left unanswered by the state government. By the way, this is my table. So I have compared different clauses, different phases on the area, on the residential catchment, location, the height, right? And also the landscape. So all this comparison has shown that the sentence I mentioned just now was missing after edisi ketiga. So edisi 2, there is such sentence. Edisi 3, there is such sentence. But starting edisi 4, dated 2020, the clause is already missing. until now. So let me continue. Equally troubling, and as raised in my 1st June statement but left unanswered by the state government, is the requirement that a new resi site may only be allocated when there is a residential catchment of more than 5,000 residents or 1,250 residential units. In practice, and for your information, 1,250 residential units would require a development area of more than about 100 acres under a single development order, single DO application, not the existing residential units. So many are confused. Some say, oh, if I can find and allocate 1,250 houses, existing houses, then you need to allocate a land for me. It's not true. It's only for new and single DO application, which means if I develop the 100 acres parcel of land, I divide it into 2 DO submission, probably a new resi land will not be allocated. Okay? So therefore, to me, in practice, it is quite impossible, or it's increasingly rare in today's Klang Valley context to have a single development that's more than 100 acres. Of course, you may mention township, you mention new areas, but increasingly we are seeing more pocket developments, which will not give any rooms for new resi land to be built. So by closing the doors of allowing discretion by local authority to allow commercial and industrial areas to have resi activities, I believe it will give a lot of troubles to the believers of this state. So therefore, the current guidelines, in my opinion, do not merely require a touch-up, as what's mentioned by YB Ng Si Han. They require a comprehensive withdrawal, review, and retabling at the State Executive Council meeting. I remember a few years back, former EXCO YB Teng Chang Kim, also there were some problems with the clauses. He apologized, retract, and retable the new guidelines. So I believe the severity of these approved guidelines is of about the same level. So to avoid also being accused of politicizing the issue, right? Some say I brought the internal party conflicts into state issue, or I mean to avoid grandstanding, being seen as you want to be hero. I wish to put forward 3 constructive proposals here, which I hope Limas, the representative from the non-Muslim religions, will also agree with me and also propose this. First, clarify the status of existing KMTT approvals so that renewals or re-applications will not be treated as new applications, thereby causing resi in commercial or industrial areas to lose their operating rights. Second, restore case-by-case deliberation power to local authority so that the policy still remains some flexibility and responsive to Malaysia's diverse religious needs and local realities. And third, reduce the threshold for resi land allocation from 1,250 residential units for a 1.5 acre site, right, to 500 residential units for a 0.5 to 0.6 acre site. You get my point? By lowering the threshold of development, right, you will actually allow more resi site or land to be gazetted. Though the size is smaller, but at least proportionally you still get the same size of land, and at the same time you stand higher chances of being allocated resi land. And do bear in mind that resi land is still have to be divided and be arranged and shared among the 5 major non-Islam religions. So to me, these amendments are necessary to ease public anxiety, preserve administrative flexibility, and uphold Malaysia's long-standing spirit of mutual respect, coexistence, and national unity. I also urge the state government to conduct briefings to MPs like myself, because I have not got any briefing. These are all my homework. I need to pay 300 ringgit for this from my own pocket. And to aduns also, because I've been told many aduns will not brief, to my surprise, because you may not choose not to brief opposition aduns, but what about your backbenchers, city councillors, village chief, and many stakeholders to ensure proper retabling of the state guidelines. So this is my demand. There's one missing point in my statement because probably make it a bit exclusive to those that attended the PC. Can I share here? I can, right? Okay. Okay, let me point to you the height ketinggian, the height of the building. So I should read here, right? The current law stated that, the current guidelines stated that ketinggian keseluruhan bangunan risi termasuk patung, acar, menara atau elemen simbolik agama lain tidak boleh melebihi 21.945 meter lah, or equivalent to 72 feet, right? It's been in controversy. Diukur dari aras lantai tapak binaan hingga ke titik tertinggi struktur. Ketinggian tidak boleh melebihi ketinggian masjid yang terletak di kawasan pembangunan yang sama atau berhampiran. So I do not dispute that, and in this case I agree with I think most of the clauses stated here. But the problem is there's a small clauses stated underneath that say bagi risi sedia ada yang telah dibina melebihi had ketinggian yang ditetapkan, pihak PBT berhak mengeluarkan notis atau tindakan penguatkuasaan mengikut peruntukan akta. Bracket, bagi pemutihan risi sedia ada. So it affects existing. So it's no longer about new or future development. So what happened is that if your current building, your current ketinggian keseluruhan bangunan exceeds that, right? So you might need to be very careful, because pihak BBT berhak mengeluarkan notis atau tindakan penguatkuasaan mengikut peruntukan akta. I deem this to be a very important clause that are overlooked by many parties. And if people ask why, Chung, you keep politicizing this without giving solution, here with my solution. We should not leave this to the hands of PBT. I would suggest to give the discretion to Limas, Selangor, to make final decision when they want to go for pemutihan. So meaning it shouldn't leave it to the hand of PBT, but instead give Limas the authority to make final decision. So that's the end of my statement on this issue.